We once again have the one and only Japanese Assembly member Zenko Kurishita, who continues to do a great job being outspoken about issues relating to anime, localization, gaming, etc., etc. And in this, he provides information about how Crunchyroll is geo-blocked in Japan. Now, this of course has been public information for years because this is not new, and anyone in Japan or using a VPN can find this out for themselves, but this has sparked quite an interesting conversation over the last 24 hours or so. Accounts like Pirate Nation then going on to make tweets like Crunchyroll is unavailable in Japan due to licensing restrictions. This geo-block means Japanese audiences never see the Western localized versions of anime, where subtitles are often rewritten, content is censored, and dubs are altered without anyone noticing the changes, to which we have a response from the OG Surima. Says Crunchyroll wasn't even viewable from Japan to begin with, so no matter how much of a mess they made, it never got exposed to Japanese viewers. With the language barrier in place, even if there was some idle person, like me, when the time to deliberately translate it into Japanese and share it, it would only stir up a little of buzz at most. The reason I refer to Surima as an OG is because you might recall even back in like 2020 or 2021-ish, on the channel here, we were talking about posts from Surima related to these sort of issues. So it's always nice to see additional insight from Surima on these sort of topics. Similarly, we have a tweet here from Ayaka Mods that says, just now, just now. I'm sorry, this is no shade at Ayaka Mods. I'm just so sick of like seeing tweets with just now, or breaking, or like this just in. That's a whole separate issue though, excuse me. Continuing says, Crunchyroll's invisible curtain exposed. Crunchyroll's geo-blocked in Japan. Japanese fans literally cannot access it, so the West can rewrite subtitles, censor content, and push anti-male dubs, and Japan never sees it. Now, some people are a little bit confused here, thinking like Crunchyroll is specifically doing this so that they can get away with butchering Japanese intellectual property. What's really going on here is there's no reason for Crunchyroll and Japanese companies to negotiate Crunchyroll to have the capabilities, the access to license in Japan. Japan already has domestic alternatives that are far superior to Crunchyroll, and Crunchyroll's entire pitch to these Japanese companies anyways is their distribution overseas. So that's why it's geo-blocked in Japan. It's not like it's intentionally geo-blocked to hide this stuff. They just don't have the agreements worked out, and there's no reason for them to ever have them worked out. Now, important caveat, you do see bad actors, so to speak, these corrupt people in anime localizations and ADR script writing, etc., taking advantage of that fact, knowing that they can butcher the intellectual property and likely receive no pushback from Japanese audiences because they're simply not aware. Now, hypothetically, if Crunchyroll wasn't geo-blocked in Japan, these people would probably still be doing all this corrupt stuff. They might just be a little bit more careful, a little bit more worried about it, you know? It's not like this is the sole reason they're doing it. No, this just further enables them, really. Back over to Zenko Kurishita. He had responded to Chibi Reviews, where Chibi had said, this explains how Crunchyroll is able to get away with censoring anime now if Japan can't access it. They have actively changed the meaning of the story through their subtitles, even pushing hatred towards men in their English dubs. Kurishita responding, saying, the fact that it's not available in Japan acts like an invisible curtain when it comes to expression. With increasing cross-border exchanges on X, perhaps the reality will be conveyed more effectively through these kinds of posts in the future, referring to, as I covered last week, the algorithmic change in which many people from Japan are getting posts recommended to them from outside Japan and vice versa, leading to some very interesting discourse, to put it simply. Kurishita also provided a screenshot of what he seems to see on Crunchyroll's website when he goes over there, of course, being located in Japan. The homepage reading, welcome to Crunchyroll. Oh gosh, I would hate to see that. Oh my, I mean, it's painful enough seeing that as a screenshot. I would hate to see it like, actually being on their website. Just an awful platform, really. Now, really quick, maybe some people watching this use Crunchyroll and they're like taken back, or they're like, what am I supposed to use then? What should I use if I don't use Crunchyroll? Brother, there are a lot of great alternatives out there that don't involve giving your money to Crunchyroll. Some people might even say that you're better off taking a certain Luffy approach to these sort of things. If you don't understand that, feel free to ask more in the comments. You might find some insight there if you're confused, which is a little bit ironic given Crunchyroll's history, but nevertheless, the point stands. Back to the screenshot posted by Kurishita of what he sees when he visits Crunchyroll. It's also funny how they're promoting right there their anime awards. Every single year they get mocked because the judges that they pick for their awards are some of the most politically brain-rotted people possible. And of course, no one takes these awards seriously for good reason, but this is still pretty freaking hilarious. Packer Girl said, just when you thought Crunchyroll couldn't sink any lower, one of the anime award judges is an anime DEI consultant. Oh my gosh, I'm face palming in real life. Like the sweet baby ink of anime here. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, wonderful person who's totally not just a grifter. Founder of Anime and Chill. Of course, it's the UK. Once again, my heart goes out to the UK viewers out there. But founder of Anime and Chill, the UK's leading anime and gaming community. Yeah, we're the leading anime and gaming community, right? And Neni Aban is a multi-award winning community founder. Awards from what? Awards from what? Sure, dude. Yeah, guess what? I've won thousands of awards myself. You know what? 10,000s. I'm a 10,000 award winner, guys. Community founder, creative technologist, and entertainment curator working across the global anime and gaming industry. She leads Anime and Chill, the UK's leading anime and gaming community known for their community-driven events. With over a decade of experience in UK anime fandom, and is a longtime anime fan, Aneni is an established figure. So many terms being used so loosely in this description. Recognized for connecting the scene and championing spaces for underrepresented audiences. She has contributed to large-scale convention programming and curation, and consults with entertainment brands on DEI, community engagement, and influencer marketing, connecting campaigns with authentic voices in the anime community. Lady, you cannot be someone talking about authenticity. Come on. Come on. And then I found this article that talks about Eni Aban. Get this, they say, Eni soon realized that more could be done to make Geek World more inclusive to marginalized fans of Japanese culture. And we talked to her about how this led to Anime and Chill, having this whole Q&A. But let's talk about this really quick, where she's making the claim that she wants to make the geek world more inclusive. Dude, this has been one of the most inclusive communities for a long time. You can even fact check this by taking a look at like old convention photos, for example. Very diverse, very welcoming, very accepting. And then you have disingenuous people like this completely misrepresenting the community and smearing the community. Oh, they weren't diverse. They weren't accepting. Yeah, they were. Now you're trying to misappropriately put this false label on the entire community, and people like this are the ones actually making it worse. These people don't actually care about diversity. It's very obvious, and there's even proof in this very article about that too. They have multiple sections where they talk about diversity, and then every single example in every picture is like 99% black people. That's not diverse. That is actually the complete opposite of diverse. I've pointed this out before. When DI consultants, when modern audience types say diverse, what they really mean is black. They don't actually mean diversity. Now, sometimes people have responded to my point by saying what they really mean is not white, and I think that's like funny in a memey way, and there is truth to that as well, and it does bake into my point, but really, what they mean is black. That's what they mean by diverse, which again is a complete oxymoron, excuse me. It's just always funny to point that out and see that. Like, oh yeah, we care about diversity. No, you don't. No, you don't. Speaking of which, a conversation about diversity in anime is currently going viral on JP Twitter, specifically this tweet that reads, "A certain black actress says, my favorite Japanese anime is probably Ghibli, but it's a shame Ghibli has so few black people." Versus a certain black actor who says, "I've loved Naruto and Bleach since I was a kid. My top favorite is Ulquiorra maybe. Oh, and by the way, my costume in the role was inspired by Vegeta. The latter is overwhelmingly more trustworthy than the former." Response reading, "I don't get why we have to be the ones putting out black people in the first place." And the OP then says, "This is about that interview from the time of Black Panther, right? The woman comes off as kind of superficial and it upsets me. But Michael B. Jordan has this genuine otaku vibe and I totally warmed up to him." In closing, it's good that Japanese people are becoming more aware of this topic and the unfolding situation overseas with corruption in the industry from Crunchyroll and DI consultants that are apparently sponsored by Crunchyroll. On top of that, there's also more JP awareness towards the issues going on in anime localization and that side of things too. So overall, pretty good news really. But let me know what you think about the latest. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one.